I gripped the edge of my desk, trying to steady myself as the room spun around me. The familiar wave of dizziness was back, stronger than ever. My coworker, Amanda, rushed to my side. "Olivia, you're white as a sheet. Maybe you should go home." "I'm fine," I mumbled, though the words felt thick in my mouth. "Just need to drink Mom's smoothie. She says it'll give me energy." I reached for the mason jar filled with the greenish-brown liquid my mother had insisted I bring to work. Every morning for the past 3 months, she'd been making these special health smoothies for me. "You're looking so tired lately," she'd say, watching me drink every last drop. "This is my secret recipe. It'll make you stronger." My name is Olivia Chen, and at 28, I never expected my mother's health kick would land me in the emergency room. It started subtly. Mom had always been health conscious, but after my younger sister Megan became a wellness influencer with a growing social media following, Mom's interest in natural remedies intensified. She started attending Megan's wellness seminars, buying exotic supplements, and experimenting with various concoctions. I became her unwitting test subject. "You work too hard," she'd say, pushing another smoothie toward me during our mandatory Sunday family dinners. "These natural ingredients will help you keep up with your demanding job." At first, I appreciated her concern. Working as a legal assistant at a prestigious law firm was demanding, and I did feel tired most days. But as weeks passed, instead of feeling more energetic, I felt worse. The dizziness started first, then came the tremors and heart palpitations. Some days, I could barely focus on my computer screen. When I mentioned these symptoms to my family, their reactions were dismissive. "You're just not used to healthy living," Megan would say, flipping her perfectly styled hair. "Your body is detoxing." "Stop being dramatic," Dad would add. "Your mother is just trying to help. You've always been the lazy one." The lazy one. That label had followed me since childhood, a constant comparison to my energetic, ambitious sister. While Megan was building her wellness empire at 25, I was steadily working my way up in a traditional career. To them, my 9-to-5 job was a sign of complacency, not stability. Today's smoothie tasted different, more bitter than usual. As I forced myself to drink it, Amanda watched with concern. "I've never seen healthy drinks make someone look so sick," she said. "Are you sure there's nothing weird in these?" I shook my head, immediately regretting the movement as another wave of dizziness hit. "Mom makes them herself," she says. "She says it's all natural ingredients. Herbs," and the room tilted sharply. I heard Amanda's voice calling my name, but it sounded distant, underwater. The last thing I remembered was the mason jar slipping from my hand, green liquid spreading across the office floor. I woke up to bright hospital lights and the steady beep of monitors. A concerned-looking doctor was checking my vitals while Amanda spoke to someone in the hallway. "She's been drinking these smoothies for months. Yes, her mother makes them. No, I don't know what's in them." "Ms. Anderson," the doctor said, noticing I was awake. "We're running some tests. Your blood pressure is dangerously low, and your heart rhythm is irregular. Can you tell me what you've consumed today?" Before I could answer, my family burst into the room. Mom rushed to my bedside, her face a mask of concern. Megan followed, already recording with her phone. "Olivia, honey, you're scaring us. I told you to take better care of yourself. Have you been skipping meals again?" "Ma'am," the doctor interrupted, "we need to know exactly what was in the smoothie your daughter drank this morning." "Just natural ingredients," Mom replied quickly. "Kale, spirulina, some herbs from my special garden." "She's being dramatic," Megan chimed in. Camera still rolling. "Probably just dehydrated." This would make a great content piece about work-life balance. The doctor's next words silenced the room. "We've taken samples of the remaining liquid in the container. The lab is analyzing it now." For the first time, I saw something flicker across my mother's face. Was it fear? "That's not necessary," she said, reaching for her purse. "I should take Olivia home. She just needs rest." "Mrs. Anderson," the doctor said firmly, "your daughter's symptoms suggest possible poisoning. We need to know what she's been ingesting." The word poisoning hung in the air like a thundercloud. Mom's face went pale, and Megan finally lowered her phone. I closed my eyes, fighting another wave of dizziness. Somewhere in the hallway, I heard the rapid approach of footsteps. The lab results were coming, and with them, the truth about Mom's special smoothies. The lab technician entered the room holding a file, her expression grave. She whispered something to the doctor, whose eyes widened as he reviewed the results. The atmosphere in the room shifted instantly. "Mrs. Anderson," the doctor said, his tone now sharp, "would you like to explain why we found significant levels of sedatives and weight loss medications in your daughter's smoothie?" The room fell silent. Megan's phone slipped from her hand, clattering to the floor. Dad, who had been quietly standing in the corner, stepped forward. "There must be some mistake," he stammered. "Martha only uses natural ingredients." The doctor continued, his voice growing harder with each word. "We found traces of multiple prescription medications, including some that are not legally available in the United States. Mixed together, these substances could have caused severe organ damage or worse." I stared at my mother, who had backed away from my bed, her face ashen. All those months of feeling dizzy, weak, and disoriented suddenly made terrible sense. "Mom," my voice cracked. "What did you put in those smoothies?" She wrung her hands, her carefully maintained facade cracking. "I just wanted to help you, sweetie. You were always so tired, so sluggish." Megan's followers love her energy, her slim figure. "I thought if you just had a little help." "Help?" I interrupted, anger finally breaking through my weakness. "You've been drugging me." "They were just supplements," Mom protested. "Special ones I got from my wellness group. Marie's daughter lost 30 pounds using them. And you were starting to look so much better, more like Megan." "Mrs. Anderson," the doctor interrupted, "these aren't supplements. They're dangerous combinations of prescription medications. Your daughter could have died." Security arrived at the door, accompanied by 2 police officers. A detective followed, holding what I recognized as my mother's phone. "We found evidence in your text messages about purchasing unregulated pharmaceuticals," the detective stated. "You'll need to come with us." Mom's composure shattered completely. "But I'm her mother. Everything I did was for her own good." "Olivia, tell them. Tell them how much better you were looking." As they led her away, I noticed Megan had retreated to the far corner, her influencer confidence completely gone. Dad stood frozen, his world visibly crumbling around him. The detective stayed behind to take my statement. I told him everything, the daily smoothies, the increasing symptoms, Mom's insistence that I drink them while she watched. As I spoke, memories surfaced of other strange incidents, Mom's special teas that made me sleep for hours, vitamin pills that left me too shaky to eat. "Your mother's wellness group is part of an ongoing investigation," the detective explained. "They've been importing illegal weight loss drugs and marketing them as natural supplements. Several members have already been arrested." A nurse brought in my test results. 3 months of consuming these cocktails had strained my liver and affected my heart rhythm. I would need ongoing treatment to reverse the damage. Dad finally spoke, his voice small and broken. "I thought you were just being lazy. Every time you complained, I told you to try harder." "You never listened," I replied, too tired to soften the blow. "None of you did." Megan stepped forward, tears streaming down her face. "I didn't know, Liv. I swear I didn't know what Mom was doing. But I promoted those wellness groups on my channel. What if other people's mothers—" She couldn't finish the sentence. Her perfectly curated wellness empire suddenly seemed built on quicksand. The next few hours were a blur of medical procedures and police statements. Amanda stayed with me, her steady presence a stark contrast to my family's chaos. She had saved the smoothie sample that led to the discovery. More importantly, she had believed me when my own family wouldn't. "The wellness group your mother was involved with," the detective said before leaving. "They're facing serious charges. We'll need your testimony." I nodded, thinking of other potential victims, other daughters whose mothers might be mixing special smoothies right now. As night fell, my hospital room finally quieted. Dad and Megan had left, both shattered by the day's revelations. My phone buzzed with message after message from relatives and family friends, ranging from shock to denial to angry accusations that I was destroying the family by pressing charges. I turned off my phone and stared out the window at the city lights. The dizziness had finally subsided, my thoughts clearer than they'd been in months. The doctor said it would take time for all the drugs to leave my system, for my body to heal from what my mother had done to me. But as I lay there, I realized something else needed to heal too. My ability to trust, to believe in my own perceptions when everyone around me denied them. For months, they had gaslit me into doubting my own body's warnings, all in the name of health and family concern. A soft knock at the door interrupted my thoughts. It was Amanda, returning with a cup of plain water. No special ingredients, no secret supplements. "The police want to know if you're planning to press charges," she said gently. I took a sip of water, appreciating its simple purity. "Yes," I replied, my voice stronger than it had been in months. "Yes, I am." The truth about Mom's smoothies had come out, but I knew this was just the beginning. 6 months after my hospitalization, I sat in a courtroom, watching my mother being sentenced for her crimes. She looked smaller somehow, her designer clothes replaced by modest business wear, her usual confident demeanor shattered. The judge's voice was stern as he read out the charges: intentional drugging, illegal importation of pharmaceuticals, and reckless endangerment. The evidence was overwhelming, not just my case, but others. 3 more daughters from her wellness group had come forward, all with similar stories of health smoothies that left them sick and disoriented. "Martha Anderson, you use your position as a mother to systematically poison your own daughter," the judge declared. "This court sentences you to 5 years in prison, with additional mandatory counseling." Mom broke down, turning to face me in the gallery. "I only wanted you to be perfect. Like Megan. Everything I did was out of love." I didn't respond. These past months had taught me that some kinds of love are more toxic than any smoothie. The aftermath of Mom's arrest had transformed our family. Dad sold their house, unable to face the neighbors' whispers. He'd moved to a small apartment across town, where he was finally attending therapy to address his enabling behavior. Our Sunday dinners were replaced by awkward monthly meetings at neutral restaurants, where we carefully avoided discussing Mom. Megan had faced her own reckoning. Her wellness empire crumbled after her followers learned about our mother's crimes. She'd lost sponsorships and followers, forcing her to confront the dangerous side of the health culture she promoted. Now she was back in college, studying nutrition properly this time, determined to rebuild her career on a foundation of genuine health science rather than dangerous trends. "I'm so sorry, Liv," she told me recently, her designer outfits replaced by simple jeans and t-shirts. "I was so caught up in the lifestyle, the followers, the pressure to be perfect. I never saw what it was doing to our family." My own recovery had been a journey of both physical and emotional healing. The doctors said I was lucky. With proper treatment, my liver and heart functions were returning to normal. The psychological scars took longer to address. I'd started seeing a therapist who specialized in family trauma, learning to trust my own instincts again. Amanda had stayed by my side through everything. She testified at the trial, describing how she'd noticed my declining health when my own family ignored it. Her friendship became my anchor as I rebuilt my life. The case had attracted media attention, shining a light on the dangerous intersection of family pressure and wellness culture. I'd received messages from women across the country sharing similar stories of mothers, sisters, and aunts pushing dangerous health products on them. After the sentencing, I started a support group for survivors of family-induced medical abuse. We met weekly, sharing stories of smoothies, supplements, and subtle poisoning disguised as care. Some women cried as they described years of being told they were too sensitive or not trying hard enough, while being systematically drugged by those they trusted most. Today, standing outside the courthouse after the sentencing, I felt lighter. Not because of any smoothie or supplement, but because I'd finally broken free from the toxic cycle of family perfectionism. Dad approached me hesitantly. "Olivia, I don't know how to make this right." "You can't," I replied honestly. "But you can do better going forward. We all can." Megan was waiting by my car, her face free of the heavy makeup she used to wear. "Want to grab some coffee?" she asked. "Just coffee, nothing added. I promise." I smiled, appreciating the small gesture of understanding. We drove to a local cafe, one I discovered during my recovery. The barista knew my order: plain green tea, no special ingredients needed. As we sat there, Megan showed me her new blog post, an honest account of how wellness culture had poisoned our family. The comments were flooding in, others sharing their own stories of pressure, perfectionism, and dangerous health trends. "You know what Mom never understood?" I said, watching steam rise from my cup. "True health isn't about looking perfect or fitting some ideal. It's about listening to your body and respecting its limits." Megan nodded, tears in her eyes. "I wish we'd all learned that sooner." My phone buzzed, a reminder for tomorrow's support group meeting. We'd be discussing how to set boundaries with family members who push dangerous health trends. I'd share my story again, not as a victim, but as a survivor who'd learned to trust herself. The afternoon sun streamed through the cafe window, warming my face. For the first time in years, I felt truly healthy, not because of any smoothie, but because I'd finally learned to protect myself from the kind of love that poisons. My mother's health smoothies had nearly destroyed me, but they'd also set me free. Free from the need to be perfect, free from toxic family expectations, and free to be healthy on my own terms. I took another sip of my tea, savoring its simple, honest warmth. Sometimes the best medicine isn't a magical cure-all. It's the courage to say no to the people who claim to know what's best for you, even when those people are family. Especially when they're family.